Welcome students. In previous video, you have already learned about what is nutrition, means definition of nutrition, then types of nutrition that are autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition, what is the need for nutrition, then what is process of photosynthesis, how transport system present in plants, parasitic plants, symbiotic type of plants, heterotrophic plants, then different types of insectivorous plants and saprophytic types of plants. So in this video we are going to see about the nutrition in animals. There are different types of nutrients that are necessary for various activities of the body are obtained from food. They are supplied to the various parts of the body through blood. The food that we consume does not mix with the blood as it is. It needs to convert into soluble forms that can easily mix in blood. विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, पोषक द्रव्यांबद्दलची माहिती आपण यापूर्वीच्या व्हिडिओमध्ये पाहिली आहेच. तर शरीराच्या सर्व क्रिया सुरळीतपणे होण्यासाठी आवश्यक असणारे घटक आपल्याला अन्नपदार्थांमधून मिळतात. रक्ताद्वारे हे घटक शरीराच्या सर्व भागांना पुरवले जातात. आपण खाल्लेले अन्न जसेच्या तसे रक्तात मिसळत नाही. त्यासाठी अन्नाचे रूपांतर रक्तात मिसळू शकतील अशा विद्राव्य घटकात व्हावे लागते. ही क्रिया करण्यासाठी प्राण्यांमध्ये पोषण क्रियेचे अन्नग्रहणापासून उत्सर्जनापर्यंत विविध टप्पे आढळून आपल्याला येतात. Nutrition in animals involves various steps from ingestion to egestion. So have a look on these steps.
In this, the organism takes the food as a whole, digests it, assimilates it, absorbs it and finally eliminates the waste material from our body. Let me tell what is meant by ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and excretion. Ingestion, complex food is taken into the digestive system through the mouth or opening is called ingestion. Digestion, the food particles are broken down into simpler forms by the process of digestion. Absorption, vital nutrients are absorbed by the body through absorption. Assimilation, digested nutrients are used to make material known as assimilation. Excretion, the waste material is eliminated from the body through digestion.
After completion of this table, you must have observed that there are different methods of ingestion of food in different animals like swallowing, chewing, sucking, scraping, grinding, etc. There are different types of nutrition in animals. In that, first type of nutrition is holozoic nutrition.
There are some organisms which we cannot see with only eyes. We need special instrument called microscope to view them. These organisms are called microorganisms. Amoeba is a microorganism which have only single cell body. It is found in pond water. It does not have a fixed shape like other organisms. In that sense, it is interesting to know how it obtains its food. Let's understand it. Ingestion. Method of taking food inside the body is called ingestion. Amoeba moves continuously. Whenever it senses the food particle, it spread a finger-like structures around the particle. These structures are called pseudopodia. These are the false feet of amoeba. Amoeba encircles the pseudopodia around food particle and takes it inside its body. We say that amoeba engulf the food. It results in formation of food vacuole which contain food particles. Digestion The cell contains jelly-like liquid called cytoplasm. From cytoplasm, digestive enzymes are secreted in the food vacuole. These enzymes act on the food particle and convert them into simpler substances. Absorption. The simpler substances get diffused into the cytoplasm. This is called absorption. The undigested waste remain in the food vacuole. Assimilation. The food entering in cytoplasm is used for energy, growth, maintenance, and multiplication. This is called assimilation. Excess food is stored as glycogen and fats. Egestion. The undigested waste is taken near the cell membrane and then thrown outside the cell body by rupturing, that is, cutting the membrane. This is called egestion.
Insects have mouth parts for ingestion of food. For example, insects like the cockroach and grasshopper, which nibble, have jaw-like mouth parts. Butterflies suck food with a tube-like proboscis. Mosquitoes and bed bugs use a needle-like mouth parts to pierce and a tube-like mouth parts to suck blood or other fluids. मल्टीसेल्युलर ऑर्गॅनिझम्समध्ये तोंडाने अन्नग्रहण होते. कीटकांमध्ये अन्नग्रहणासाठी माउथ पार्ट्स असतात. उदाहरणार्थ झुरळ व नाकतोडे यासारखे कीटक असतात, त्यांच्यामध्ये जबड्यासारखे माउथ पार्ट्स असतात. फुलपाखरू नळीसारखे म्हणजे प्रोबोसिस वापरून अन्नग्रहण करते. डास व ढेकूण हे चूषक निडलसारखे पिअर्स करण्यासाठी वापरतात आणि नळीसारख्या म्हणजेच ट्यूब-लाईक पार्ट्सनी ते रक्त किंवा इतर रसग्रहण करतात. Herbivores. Herbivores use plants directly as their food. Examples of these are different grazing animals. Differentiate herbivores into two different types, that are granivores who eats seeds and frugivores who eats fruits. आणि हे प्रत्यक्ष वनस्पतीचा अन्न म्हणून उपयोग करतात. याची उदाहरणे आपल्याला सांगता येतील. गवत खाणारे, बिया खाणारे किंवा फळे खाणारे प्राणी वगैरे हे सर्व शाकाहारी प्राणी असतात. Animals are carnivores. The animals that depend on other animals for their food are carnivores. Carnivores are indirectly dependent on plants for food. Examples of these animals are that feed on herbivores are called as the predators, and the animals that feed on insects that are called as insectivores. काही प्राणी अन्नासाठी इतर प्राण्यांवर अवलंबून असतात. त्या प्राण्यांना मांसाहारी प्राणी असे म्हणतात. मांसाहारी प्राणी अन्नासाठी अप्रत्यक्षपणे वनस्पतींवर अवलंबून असतात. जसे शाकाहारी प्राण्यांना खाणारे, कीटक खाणारे इत्यादी मांसाहारी प्राणी असतात. Other type of animals are omnivores. The animals that obtain their food from both plants and animals are called omnivores. Examples of these animals are monkeys, chimpanzee, human beings, etc. Omnivores म्हणजेच मिश्राहारी प्राणी. काही प्राणी अन्नासाठी वनस्पती तसेच प्राणी असे दोन्हींवरही अवलंबून असतात. त्या प्राण्यांना मिश्राहारी प्राणी असे म्हणतात. उदाहरणार्थ वानर, चिंपांझी, मानव प्राणी इत्यादी. Some of the organisms around us perform the function of cleaning and conserving the environment by the very act of feeding themselves. They are called scavengers. Scavengers म्हणजे स्वच्छताकर्मी हे मृत प्राण्यांच्या शरीरापासून अन्न मिळवून जगतात. आपल्या सभोवताली आढळणारे काही सजीव हे त्यांच्या अन्नग्रहणाबरोबर पर्यावरण स्वच्छता व संवर्धनाचे कार्यही करत असतात. त्यांना स्वच्छताकर्मी असे म्हणतात. Decomposers are some microbes which obtain their food by decomposing the dead bodies of organisms or other materials. Decomposers म्हणजेच विघटक. काही सूक्ष्मजीव हे मृत शरीराच्या अवशेष तसेच काही पदार्थ कुजवून त्यापासून अन्न मिळवतात. नैसर्गिक पदार्थांच्या कुजण्याच्या प्रक्रियेमधून सूक्ष्मजीवांचे पोषण होते.
Decomposers act as cleaning agent of our environment. They help in decomposing dead bodies of plants and animals. Decomposers also put back the various nutrients from the dead bodies back into the soil, air and water for reuse. So nutrients are constantly recycled and are used again and again.
Next type of nutrition is saprozoic nutrition. Some insects, unicellular animals, etc. They obtain the nutrients by absorbing the liquid organic material from the dead bodies of other animals or from the environment. This is the saprozoic nutrition. Examples of this type of nutrition are houseflies, ants, spiders, etc. मृतोपजीवी पोषण म्हणजे सॅप्रोझोइक न्यूट्रिशन. काही कीटक, एकपेशीय सूक्ष्मजीव हे मृत शरीरातील किंवा आजूबाजूच्या वातावरणातील द्रवरूप सेंद्रिय पदार्थांचेच म्हणजे ऑर्गॅनिक मटेरियल्सचे शोषण करून त्यांचा अन्न म्हणून वापर करतात. या प्रकारच्या पोषणालाच मृतोपजीवी म्हणजे सॅप्रोझोइक न्यूट्रिशन असे म्हणतात.
Parasitic nutrition in animals. Parasitism, a relationship in which one organism lives on or inside another, and as the one benefits, the other is harmed. So here, what do you realize? Basically, in parasitism, only the parasitic organism benefits in this relationship. The parasitic benefits while the host is harmed. There are two general types of parasites: endoparasites, which live inside your body, and ectoparasites, which live outside your body. In picture A, you see an ectoparasite which lives on the surface of your body, whereas in picture B, you can see the worms are living inside your body. So let's learn more about them. Ectoparasite versus endoparasites. Now let's see the first picture here. It's very interesting. We are going to start with endoparasitic nutrition. In the picture, you can see a tapeworm. So let's know first what exactly is endoparasitic nutrition. Animals which obtain their food by living inside the body of other animals. So tapeworm is one such example which is shown here. Now what are these tapeworms like? Tapeworms are flat, segmented worms that live in the intestines of some animals. It can be humans too. Animals can become infected with these parasites while grazing in pastures or drinking contaminated water. Eating undercooked meat from infected animals is the main cause of tapeworm infection. So let's move to the next organism here. Again, this is an endoparasite. Endoparasite living inside the body of the host. These are intestinal worms. Here, these are pinworms. Again, we go to the next worm, that is again a endoparasite, roundworm. What about roundworms? Again, they are a type of parasitic worm. Ascaris is the most common roundworm infection which we see. These infections usually are found in developing countries too, because when people come in contact with contaminated soil or contaminated water, these worms enter the body of the host. So it can be animals as well as human beings. Now we move towards ectoparasitic nutrition. Ecto means outside the body. So animals which live on the body surface of other animals and obtain their food by sucking their blood. So basically these animals, they suck the blood from outside of the body of a particular host. Here in the picture you can see the picture of a leech shows how it's sucking. It is getting attached to the body of the host first, and then it starts sucking the blood from the body of the host till it can cause the death to the host. So they are so harmful to the host sometimes that they can cause death if many leeches are clinging towards the body of a particular person. So it's very dangerous sometimes. Then you also know bed bugs, which are very commonly seen. So bed bugs are insects which bite during the night. So usually they hide into the bed. That's why they are known as bed bugs. They may lead to skin changes ranging from invisible to small areas of redness to prominent blisters. So sometimes they really cause psychological effects or skin rashes and allergic symptoms. The next picture you can see is ticks. Dog ticks are just, they are very common. So they are large enough to be visible, especially if they have already had a bite. When they can look like small warts, So when you have to see the ticks, usually you find them on dogs or other animals. So it's around their neck or around the ear, So these ticks, again, what do there? They suck the blood. So they are again ectoparasites, which are sucking the blood from the body of the host from outside. Another very common example is the head louse, or we call it as lice. The head louse is an obligate ectoparasite of humans that causes head lice infestation. Head lice are wingless insects spending their entire lives on the human scalp and feeding exclusively on human blood. So again, that's very important that we keep cleaning our head scalp, just because if there is a lot of infestation, they suck in the blood through the scalp. So I hope you have found this particular topic very interesting. Endoparasites and ectoparasites, you know the difference between them.
Here we complete 4th chapter. Now try to solve exercise given in further slides.